I want to welcome everybody. Today's date is February 16th, 2021. Regular town council meeting, virtual meeting called for 5 p.m. Eastern time. Time is approximately 5 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Mountain time. Meeting officially called to order. Town clerk, can you call roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Singer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Einstein. Councilmember Mendel.
Here.
Councilmember Luskin.
Here.
Councilmember Bernstein.
Here.
Okay. Once again, I want to welcome everybody, fellow council members, staff, and any public that we have on the meeting. Before we get started, Chief, can you please lead us in the pledge?
Sure. Can everyone please repeat after me? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of America
And
and the
to the
republic
republic for which it stands,
One nation.
one nation, under God,
justice
and justice for all.
for all.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. First on the agenda is presentations, proclamations. I believe there are none, but we do have a presentation from, I believe, Mayor Levine Calvert's office, correct?
Mayor, I don't see Mrs. Burke on the screen. I'm not sure who the iPhone is.
I'm not sure who that is either.
Ms. Burke, if your iPhone, please unmute yourself.
Okay.
This is the resident.
Okay, when she comes on, we'll let her, because she has a little presentation for us, I believe. So when she comes available, Lucette, if you could let me know, we'll put her
Yes,
on.
sir.
Okay. With that, we'll move to motion to set agenda, additions, deletions, removal of items from the consent agenda, or changes to the agenda. I don't have any. Fellow council members, do you have any? No. Town staff, Alex, town administration?
Nope, no changes to the agenda this time.
Okay, the agenda stays the same. With that, we'll move to good and welfare. I believe there's some residents on. Anyone for good and welfare?
Yeah, I'm Madison Burns. I have a comment for good and welfare.
Go on, welcome.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. So, thank you to the mayor, town council, and town manager. I'm just speaking tonight because I'm concerned, I guess, about the town's use of tar roofing. There's been a few incidences recently where I guess, residents have used it, and it's been, kind of awful because, the whole area gets consumed with like these toxic fumes and it smells really bad. And these fumes, they're really dangerous for those that have respiratory issues as well as allergies. They've been linked to cancer, birth defects, and they have a whole bunch of other health and environmental concerns. There are also major fire risks. And there's actually been several homes recently in Miami-Dade County that have been on fire, due to, I guess, like the tar and kettle roofing. And I guess, I'm just requesting that the town kind of look into their permitting as well as their ordinances to kind of, update, technology has changed in roofing in the past 20 to 30 years, to update, I guess, their ordinances as well as, their permitting with regard to tar roofing, because there actually are a lot of ordinances around the country and even in Florida that are, banning this. That's my piece.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else for good and welfare?
Yes, sir. I have a letter to be read into the record
Sure, go on.
from resident Tanya Murciano, 405 Center Island Drive. She says, good evening. I would like to ask the following questions. Number one, with so many internet usages and Zoom meetings, the improvement of the internet speed is a pressing need. The current options provide very poor and unreliable connectivity. Please advise, when will the town make a final decision to move forward and contract high-speed internet? Number two, Dr. Fauci stated that April will be the month when the general public is eligible to be vaccinated. Please advise if the town is ready to vaccinate by April and which vaccine will be offered. Thank you, Tanya Marciano.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else for good and welfare? Okay, Lisette, no more?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we'll move to mayor's report. I just have a few quick little items. Number one is, again, to reiterate what was said in good and welfare, COVID is still among us. You guys, everybody needs to still keep social distancing, obviously wash your hands, and please wear masks when possible. The town is been approved to give the vaccine, but we have not received our fair any of dosages available, and I don't know when we will. It's going to be some time, so as soon as it's available, we'll let all our residents know. What was I going to say? Once the vaccine, that we do receive the vaccine, it will be open to all our town residents and their families, obviously. So a few other quick comments. The swearing in of myself, Councilman Mandel, and Councilwoman Luskin is this Sunday, February 21st at 11 a.m. Look forward to seeing everyone there. As always, it's going to be a nice event, but due to COVID restrictions, it is going to be a lot smaller, a lot shorter, and we will apply proper COVID policies to the event. The town is currently working on many projects. Town manager and I were reviewing them on Monday. We basically have 16 projects that the town is working on. A lot of projects are not known to the residents because they're only RFPs, requests for proposals. But as soon as these projects get moving, we'll notify, obviously, all the residents and keep them in tune what's going on. Another quick comment, as everyone's well aware of, the South Florida real estate market is extremely hot. The town is doing everything possible to keep up the town to looking, as special as it always has. I urge the residents to do their share, to keep your house updated, to keep everything in code, because the code enforcement officers are going around town. And if things are not up to code, we will cite you with a warning and then obviously a violation. So it's imperative that everyone does their share. And all you have to do is pick up the paper and see how hot the real estate market is in South Florida and Golden Beach especially. There's been more turnover, I think, in the last 3 months than we've had in the whole year prior. I mean, it's been an extremely hot market. Again, the town has a lot to offer. We're a very special community, so it would be expected. Basically, that's all I have. With that, I'll move to town manager to give us a Corona update.
As the mayor mentioned, this is not the time to let your guard down. There are several variants that are working this way through South Florida. We are now providing at-home test kits that have a 95% accuracy reading. If you need a home test kit, you call the town hall. We'll have it dropped off to your doorstep. You could administer the test yourself. If you do test positive, then you are asked to go to a CDC-approved test site so you could get validated your test and report it to the state of Florida. For the time being, we're not going to sponsor another mass testing because the focus now is on vaccination and providing these at-home test kits that we feel pretty confident with. We also have a limited number of antibodies tests that we have for our residents, as Councilmember Vice Mayor Einstein is showing there. I'm not sure I can read it, but he still doesn't have the antibodies. You got it. I'll look at those later. But we do have some.
They're negative.
Still negative. So we do have antibodies tests. The town is providing mask and hand sanitizing to all of our residents. We still have a restriction as it relates to who could use the town's amenities. Make sure that you follow the newsletter, which was provided to everyone's mailbox this afternoon. Let me also ask the residents, we did deliver automatic hand sanitizing devices to all of the homes this past weekend. If by chance yours is not working, just call town hall. We'll have that replaced for you right away. We've had a couple calls that a couple of them are not working. Know that those are being paid for by your COVID CARES Act funding, not your tax dollars. Every time that we can provide our residents with amenities that keep them safe, we will do so. I do not have an updated COVID positivity count for the town. The state hasn't released those in the last 14 days. So I don't have an updated number. Just know that we ask all of our residents to be mindful. So again, we have masks and hand sanitizers available. We have testing kits available. Now, as it relates to the vaccine, our agreement with the state of Florida has been approved, as the mayor mentioned. Our operations plan with the Department of Health has been accepted. The latest information that we have received is that once the general public vaccination is made available, we are on the list for vaccine to be distributed to the town. Because we are a small number of units, I hope that we will be high on the priority list. Know that every day the mayor and the council ask me, when are we getting vaccines? As soon as they're available, the residents will be the first to know, but we are working aggressively with that. The other last part of that is we've already signed an agreement with the provider who's going to come and do the injection. Is a healthcare provider. So we're not going to be waiting to the last minute to have those contracts in place. So we're ready to vaccine as soon as we get the vaccines. We're ready to vaccinate as soon as we get the vaccines to us. So that's our COVID update, Mayor.
Thank you, Town Manager. One thing I did skip, I wanted to thank the town administration for the nice Valentine's presents, the hand sanitizer, and the nice sweet gift to all the residents and the council. Great job on Michael Glidden and town administration. Thank you. With that, I'll move to town council comments. Start with Vice Mayor Einstein. Ben?
No comments. It's been a pleasure serving as your vice mayor for this year, and I'll be turning it over to who's the next in line, Alex?
Luskin, Councilmember Luskin.
Oh, to Councilman Luskin. Pass on the baton. And the town's looking great. I hope everyone's being safe. I was fortunate and unfortunate being 68 years old and getting the vaccine. Fortunate in getting the vaccine. So, you know, age has its things, but I guess that's okay. But no other comments.
Did you have any reaction to the second vaccine?
You know, I didn't. The first one, I felt a little chills at night. I had Pfizer. Kathy got the Moderna, and her second shot, she did have a fever for 2 days, and I really don't ever see her not moving. And she was like 102, 103 for a couple of days, and you know, it's interesting. You know, some people, maybe I got a dud. Some people feel like you should have some type of reaction. It means that the stuff is in your system and you're building, you know, antibodies and things or whatever it's doing. But who knows? Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you. Glad you got vaccinated. Councilman Bernstein.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the update, Alex. I just want to say, reiterate the mayor just saying what beautiful Valentine's Day presents the staff and everyone prepared for the town. I talked to a bunch of people who were very impressed with it. I also want to ask Alex if we know what kind of vaccines if we're getting the Pfizer or Moderna.
Yeah, we have no idea, but we did request that it can't be Pfizer because we don't have the cooling requirements for Pfizer. So
Okay.
it would either be Moderna or if the Johnson & Johnson one gets approved. But we don't meet the cooling requirements for the Pfizer, so we would have to politely decline that one.
Okay. I also want to just while we're on the fiber, and I know we're all working on it, but I just want to say that I've talked to a bunch of people. I know a bunch of people from San Francisco and New York who are coming into Miami looking for new residences. And last night I sat with 3 guys who are looking for homes in Golden Beach, and they're tech guys. And one of the questions that did come up was our internet speed. And so I just want to say it is relevant, and it is something that people are actually looking at and concerned about when they're looking at different areas of Miami. So I'm glad to know that everyone's on the same page to be cutting edge. And I want to reiterate current Vice Mayor Einstein's sentiments about how great the town's looking and how great the staff has been and everyone working. Thank you.
Thank you. So they actually asked you what the internet speed was in Golden Beach? Because every house is different.
No, they were just asking. They're just tech guys that were saying, "Hey, is this going to be a problem over here if they're located in there?" And I just said we have up to 1 gig right now with the options under our current plan. But that was just something that came up. But when we were talking about a couple of weeks ago or a couple of months ago, it didn't seem as big a deal. But
I'm with you. With that, move it. Thank you, Councilman Bernstein. With that, I'll move to Councilman Mandel.
Thank you, Mayor. Actually, I have no comments. Like Vice Mayor Einstein said and Councilman Bernstein said, town's looking great. So no complaints from me.
Thank you. Councilwoman Luskin.
Again, to reiterate, thank you for the Valentine's gift. The truth of the matter is that brownie was out of this world. It really was good, and I got a lot of nice feedback from it. I think all the information regarding the internet, it's very well received. I was a little bit surprised what a selling point that is for Golden Beach and how important it is. So I hope that is something we can move forward on. The tar that Madison had mentioned, I don't think using tar in Miami-Dade County for a roof is prohibited, but perhaps maybe because it is so strong of an odor that we could perhaps maybe let a neighbor who lives right next door know in advance, or see if those that are putting new roofs on can expedite it if they are using it, and so it's done in such a way where it's the least offensive. And last but not least, the Golden Beach Youth Leadership Group, due to COVID, is going to have a Zoom meeting this Thursday at 6 p.m. and we encourage all the kids in town to tune in. They've all been notified about it, and I think we've got some great plans for the group coming up for the rest of the year, even if it does need to be somewhat COVID restricted. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councilman Luskin. With that, we'll move on to the town manager's report. Alex?
Mayor, members of the council, I'll try to keep it quick. We haven't had a whole lot of activity since the last meeting, but I want to thank the residents who have been participating in our virtual events, the painting Zoom class, the tennis clinic, and the likes. I do want to announce that starting this Sunday in South Park and at the Beach Pavilion, we will be hosting the Slumpies. We wanted to provide alternative programming for our residents to be able to enjoy our community. So for the next 30 to 45 days, the art exhibit Slumpies will be visiting Golden Beach for our residents to enjoy. More information about the Slumpies project can be found on the town's website, and you could hear the artist speak at the inauguration, which is being held this Sunday. As it relates to the town's inauguration, and congratulations, Mayor Singer, Vice Mayor to-be Luskin, and Council Member Mandel for your re-election without opposition. Know that event is limited to 100 residents and 100 guests. We are following strict CDC seating protocols, and the food is going to be pre-packaged and dropped off at the tables by a CDC approved protocol. Do not, I want to set expectations as they are. These are pre-packaged meals that we're providing as part of our accommodations for the event on Sunday. It will start at 11 a.m. All residents and guests will be required to wear a mask. We will have hand sanitizer available, and the seats have been predetermined for you. So there will be a table for you and your guests. You must sit there. This is not a mingle event. So we're going to ask all of our residents and their invited guests to sit at the table, hear the speeches, and then once they're done with their meals to enjoy the rest of their day. The beach will be closed until after the ceremonies. So there will be no beach activities allowed. No beachgoers will be allowed on Sunday until after the swearing in ceremony. We're hoping that will be wrapped up by 1 o'clock. The event does start at 11 a.m. sharp. We do have a judge who will be conducting the swearing in, and out of respect for their time, we're going to ask all residents to arrive on time. If you do not RSVP, do not be insulted when we turn you away. We are following strict CDC guidelines for this event. So if you have not already RSVP'd, feel free to call the gate house, town hall at 305-932-0744. This afternoon, we delivered the newsletter into everyone's mailbox. So if you have not seen the newsletter, please take a look at the newsletter. There's a lot of important information provided through the newsletter. As I mentioned during the COVID update, we did pass out goodies for Valentine's Day. If you have an issue with your goodie, your hand sanitizing device, please let the town know. As the mayor mentioned, we are working on 16 projects, if not more, that are going to be exciting. The capital projects we'll be talking about later in the program. I do want to start letting the residents know that we are working with Miami-Dade Water and Sewer on a very big project that will affect all residents on Golden Beach Drive towards the latter part of this year. And so we're going to be adding to our CIP project list another project. Last thing, in the last couple of weeks, we have seen some increased activity, police activity in town. Northeast Dade County has seen an increase in number of cars that are being broken into or stolen, and the number of vagrants that are in the area. So I will ask all residents to always be proactive and lock their car doors, and alert the substation and the police department if you see any unusual activity. We are not immune to what's going on throughout South Florida. So just be aware of that. We do have a very active police department who's out there looking for areas of weakness that we can improve on. And so I just ask all residents to help us do their part and locking their doors and letting us know they see something unusual. With that said, Mayor, that's my report. Read the newsletter. In the newsletter, there's a 2-page letter from me kind of giving the residents an update as to what we've been working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Town Manager. With that, we'll move to Steve Helpman, Town Attorney. Do you have anything?
I have nothing to report, which is always good news.
Thank you. With that, we'll move to ordinance's second reading. There are none. Ordinance's first reading, letter number M. There are none. Quasi-judicial resolution, a resolution of the Town Council approving a variance request for the property located at 326 South Parkway concerning a seawall encroachment. That's the quasi-judicial resolution. Town Clerk, can you read that, please?
A resolution of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, authorizing and approving a variance request for the property located at 326 South Parkway, Golden Beach, Florida, 33160, to permit a seawall to encroach outside the property line into the waterway by approximately 3 feet in various areas when Town Code Section 46-81 does not permit the seawall to encroach.
Thank you. If anyone is going to speak on this quasi-judicial resolution, can you please raise your right hand? And Town Clerk, can you swear them in? If you do not get sworn in, you do not raise your hand during this resolution, you will not be able to speak. So Town Clerk, please.
Yes. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes. Thank you.
So just for the record, I want to, Town Manager was sworn in.
Yes.
Linda Epperson from the Building Department was sworn in. Was anyone else sworn in?
Not that I saw.
The homeowner had his hand up.
Can you please identify yourself? Welcome.
Hi, my name is Leon Mochon.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Town Manager, regarding
Mayor, this is one of those housekeeping items, and we've done a couple of these throughout the last couple of years, and eventually Steve and I need to figure out a way to kind of fix this in the code so we don't have to always bring a variance, although they are case by case. In this particular case, in order to keep the contiguous cap along this area of town, the wall needs to be installed 3 feet outside the property line so that the wall doesn't jagger in and out there. There's quite a few of these throughout the parkways throughout town. I will tell you that we don't allow the docks. It's not in this case, but like I say, in another case, if there was a pier dock, the pier would actually be cut shorter so it doesn't go beyond that encroachment into the waterway. So in this particular case, there's no encroachments into the waterway. This case doesn't have that, but just as a form of edification for the community, if there was a dock that had a pier, the pier would actually be shorter. We wouldn't allow you to encroach into the waterway. But in this particular case, the wall in different location has a 3-foot offset, and we're asking favorable recommendation on this item. By the way, the BREB voted 2-1 on this one.
Okay, with that, I'll open up to any comments. Any comments from first town council? There are none. Then I'll open it up to the public. Any comments to the public? There are none. Okay. With that, we'll do a roll call, please.
Mayor Singer,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Einstein,
In terms of granting the seawall, correct?
Yes.
Or the extension? Yes.
Councilmember Luskin,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel,
Yep.
Councilmember Bernstein.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Welcome. With that, we'll move up to town major project update. Town manager, Alex, would you please give us the update on the Civic Center Complex Master Plan?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and residents who are participating via Zoom. So as you may have seen, we did fence off the area in the Twiddle Park area for the Civic Center project kickoff. There has been some minor work that's being done. We've done some soil sampling and some survey work in the area. That's why you haven't seen major construction. We were told, a meeting was requested of us at the end of January with the builder who has expressed some concerns as it relates to the project moving forward. There have been some issues identified by the contractor as it relates to the scope of work and coming in with the contract price that we have agreed to. And he's asked for some time to look at his means and methods, to look at the shell that he's proposing, and to look at the budget, to be very candid with you. I've spoken with each of you one-on-one. What we've allowed and what we've agreed to is to hold off on issuing the notice to proceed until the 22nd of this month, at which time the mayor and I would have a better idea as to where the project stands and what's going to be our course moving forward with this project. I wish I could share more information with you at this forum. By our March meeting, which is March 16th, you're going to have a full picture as to what we're going to do. I can tell you that even though the project is currently moving at a snail's pace, there are assurances by all parties that we will meet our contractual obligation to deliver this project should the project move forward as expected. So I just ask all residents to continue to bear with us. The mayor has authorized me to try to reopen the basketball court if we think that this is going to be a prolonged delay. We don't anticipate it being too prolonged, so we're evaluating that as we speak as to whether or not we will open a basketball court for our residents to use. That decision will be made at a later date. But like I said, on the 22nd, the notice to proceed will be issued, and then we'll know where we stand with the project. And I thank each of you for being patient as we identify some of the concerns raised by the contractor and we identify solutions. That's the extent of the Civic Center report that I'd like to get into at tonight's meeting, if that's okay with the council. The Center Island Pump Station, I want to thank Maria and her team. We were able to sign up, over 20 vendors, I think it is, or 18 vendors, so that we could do the direct purchase of all of the items needed for the Center Island Pump Station. We've identified close to $28,000 in savings on that project because we are purchasing all of the items needed by the developer, which would help further the project. We've made an agreement with the contractor that until all of the items have been delivered, we won't break ground so that we can keep that area open for our residents as long as possible. But we will be breaking ground hopefully sometime in March once we get the long lead items delivered. That project is now under budget and is moving as expected. I want to remind the council and the residents that there is a potential seawall issue at that project site that is not part of the scope of that project. We have not begun the exploration phase as to what we would need to do to fix it. We're going to wait until we get closer to the mobilization to do that exploratory work. But there are two sections of that seawall that we have some issues with that we need to identify. And the third project is the fiber project. As I mentioned at the last meeting, the mayor and I and staff have been meeting with different vendors. And in fact, we've done some site visits to see which vendors would best meet the needs of the town. We have explored different options. We've explored going out the bid and having a wholesale contract with our community. We've explored all kinds of options. Where we currently stand, we're looking at an option that we feel would be in the best interest of the town, both fiduciary responsibility and in terms of how we can get this project built in a timely manner. So what we're looking at right now is the option of the town putting in the fiber, using one of the providers to put it in for us. And they would then manage the fiber system. And we would enter into a long-term bulk service agreement with that company to provide either internet or cable or both to our residents with a negotiated bulk contract. And they would be the retail customers. We would be out of the internet and cable business. They would honor our rates that we negotiate and honor our levels of service. And they would provide a direct service to our resident. Those residents who wish to sign up could do so, enjoying the benefits of our bulk rates or not. That's one of the many options that we continue to explore. The goal is that as we speak to now the 5 different providers who are interested in working with us, that we find both the best means and the most viable option for our residents. We will provide fiber to our residents. How we choose to do so is still very preliminary in our exploratory phase. We do not want to jump the gun on this. Once we do this, we are committed for a very long time, whether it's a 20-year or 30-year agreement is yet to be seen, but we need to do all of our due diligence. Know that the mayor, myself and staff, along with the town attorney, are looking at all viable options. How we're gonna pay for it, should we pay for it, should our residents pay for it? One of the new things that I'm exploring with the chief and with the attorneys is, should we decide to put in the fiber system for an enhanced security system throughout the town? Could we use LETF dollars to pay for this system? Because it would be enhancing, creating fiber hotspots throughout town and creating a proximity area for our town. So as we have an open dialogue as to how to roll this out, new ideas come to light every day. And so just bear with us. We will have a fiber contract in place in this community sooner than later. We just do not want to rush the decision. Know that Mayor Singer each day calls me and says, Alex, where are we on fiber? And we are moving it along. And I want to thank Steve for helping us think outside the box on this. So to those new residents that are moving here, the goal is that Golden Beach will become the first city that has fiber to every single one of its residents, those who choose to have fiber at their homes. And if not, we'll look at the other way, which is forcing it on our residents, and we don't want to go that route. So that's where we are. Just bear with us. Hopefully at the March meeting, we'll have a little bit better, clearer picture for you, but that's the extent of what I'm willing to share tonight with the residents.
Thank you. With that, we're going to move to the consent agenda. The following items, 3 items are on the consent agenda. Item number 1, official minutes of the January 19th, 2021 regular town council Zoom meeting. Item number 2, a resolution of town council accepting the town clerk's certification of the results of the February 16th, 2021 election. And the 3rd item, a resolution of town council approving the proposal by Southeastern Engineering contracts for the installation of the bus shelters. Those 3 items are on the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposes? No one opposes. The 3 items on the consent agenda pass. The next
Mayor,
item.
before we go on to regular,
There's still a
escaped
town
my mind.
resolution.
Yeah, escaped my mind to just share this with the council. And I probably should have during my report or at least during this update. I do want to share that last month alone, we saw over 20 lien searches and possibly transactions in town. So the town is very active with a lot of real estate changing hands. And so a lot of our new residents, we want to stress to them that there's a lot of moving parts as it relates to the fiber project. And I know that there's a lot of new residents who are demanding that we kind of move this at a faster pace. Just know that we're working on that. The other thing is, as a reminder to all residents who have not met with us, if you buy a house in Golden Beach, we do have a new resident orientation that you need to participate in, so you can know what the do's and don'ts are with our resident services department. I want to make sure that before residents leave, that they know that we have those available. So,
Okay. Thank you, town manager. With that, we'll move to item number Q, a town resolution. Item number 5, resolution of town council assigning each assigning each council member the duty to inquire into a particular area of governmental responsibility. Town Clerk?
A resolution of the Town Council of the Town of Golden Beach, Florida, assigning each council member the duty to inquire into the operation of a particular area of governmental responsibility, providing for conflict, providing for implementation, and providing an effective date.
I need a motion to approve.
Motion approved.
I need a second.
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 Okay, basically, this is the current assignments and what the assignments are going to be for February 2021 to August 2021. I'll just go through them real quick. Mayor Singer is currently in the Finance Department. We'll move to handle General Government. Vice Mayor Luskin is General Government. We'll move to Public Works Department. Councilman Bernstein is Building Zoning Department. We'll move to Police Department. Councilman Mendel is Police Department. We'll move to Finance Department. And Councilman Einstein is Public Works. We'll move to Building Zoning Department. Again, this will start February 2021, which is currently, and that's to August 2021. We reassign these positions every year.
Mayor, it's every 6 months, and then don't forget from September to February, it's on the second page. The assignments are Mayor Singer will move to Finance, Vice Mayor Luskin will go to Building and Zoning, Councilman Bernstein will go to Public Works, Councilman Mendel will go to General Government, and then Councilman Einstein will go to the Police Department for the second part of the year.
Lisette, very quickly, I may have just missed it. Did we actually vote on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Yes, it was a consensus.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, I just was making sure.
Gotta stay awake, Steve.
I'm
Okay.
awake.
I'm sorry. With that,
Moving too fast, but.
Town Resolution Item Number 5. Any comments from the council? Any council comments from the public? With that, we'll do a roll call, please.
Mayor Singer,
Yes?
Vice Mayor Luskin,
Yes.
Councilmember Einstein,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendel,
Yes.
Councilmember Bernstein.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to our final item is discussion and direction to town manager. There are none noted on here. I know town manager, you have anything?
Mayor, I just want to check in with the council. So our next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, March 16th. We are still going to be meeting via Zoom. Not enough of our staff or council. We're not ready to move off of Zoom yet, especially because our space is too small. So I want to make sure that is 5 okay? Is everyone still okay with 5 o'clock? Because it's a Zoom meeting. All of our Zoom meetings from before, since COVID began, have been at 5 o'clock, and we haven't had any issues with our residents. I just want to make sure that's still okay with the council. 5 o'clock, the 16th. On that agenda, I just want to let the council know on that agenda. Yeah,
Alex, just a comment. Daylight savings time is going to change then. It's going to be 5 o'clock.
Yeah, the April one may move. In fact, we'll talk about April and March. The April one, we may push it a little bit later.
Is it possible to move the March one back an hour?
To 4?
6.
No, to 6.
That's it.
I've got my daughter's soccer game at the time. I was just wondering if it's possible. If not, I understand.
March 16th, I have no problem with that. Does
Okay.
anyone else have a problem with that?
I'm okay with it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, and then the other thing is we reserve the right to call a special workshop as it relates to fiber towards the end of the month where we need to, as we get closer to making some decisions in that respect. That would be in March. So we'll let you know as we get closer to that date. With that, Mayor, Council, I have no other items for you. Thank you for your time.
Do you need to do the same thing for a civic center discussion if one needs to happen before?
No, not yet, because that will do one-on-one. And then that will be at the main meeting if we need to have a discussion. That type of a decision is best shared with the entire community at a time where the entire community can participate. Will probably be at the council meeting.
Alex,
Okay.
on the fiber, would you reach out to each one of us as that develops before
Yeah.
the special meeting and just
Yeah.
give us heads up
Yeah,
as to.
And nothing has changed, as to what, from what I briefed each of you, at least not yet. Steve and I and the mayor are working to try to figure out, where,
Yeah.
where we're heading with
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Okay, and just to confirm, the next meeting is Tuesday, March 16th at 6.
Tuesday, March
Yes.
16th, correct.
Thanks.
Lisette, can you send a new invite so we get the correct times on our calendars?
Yes, yes, of course.
That would be great. Thank you.
With that, if anyone does not have any other comments, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Are you
Second.
going to scan or something?
I am skiing.
I know, but right now, this afternoon.
No.
No, I went already.
Hey,
I know.
I cut it short.
All right,
Snow.
everyone, thank you so much.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Guys, thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye, guys. Thank you.